Hi, fellow traders. I hope everybody had a great day today. A lot better day for me today. I'm real pleased with the way I traded, real pleased with the way I managed my trades. The day wasn't perfect. The market is never perfect. But how I managed and how I executed, I felt was pretty good. So, feeling pretty good about today. Now, I talked to you yesterday about how I plan my executions and then I execute my plan. But there was a disconnect somewhere. And I realized that the disconnect was all of the noise that I was allowing into my head prior to the trading day. And that should not happen. First, I had the thing backwards. Now, I've always done swing trades and day trades. It wasn't until late, probably halfway through the year that I started talking about swing trading because I didn't have time to teach what I did. And if I was telling you I was taking this trade or that trade, then you would want to know why, and not, which is good. You want to know why. And I couldn't do that. So it wasn't until later on that I brought swing trading in. Now that I have the room and I'm in there, I'm trying to rush and force day trades so that I can run back and get the entry in the swing trade when it should be the other way around. The way my strategies are in swing trading is they're going to trigger at the open or within the first 2 or 3 minutes, or they're not going to trigger at all. And so it should be the other way around. And that was the reason why I use those strategies, because I can get in and then go and forget about them and then just go deal with day trading. And I had that twisted. So what I did was I said, I'm not going to swing trade any this week. I'll still have the room up. Well, I won't be there tomorrow. I'm going to be out tomorrow. But Thursday and Friday, I'll still have the swing trade room up. We'll still talk about the stocks on our watch. A couple people are in LITE that's doing pretty good. But, for me, I'm not going to take any until I get my day trading, the execution part right. And the other part was getting a lot of emails. And what's happening is this is when most people signed up at the beginning of the year last year when I first started. And I got some that wanted to cancel but didn't. I got some that, signed up on an invoice and I'm having to give them an invoice, or, it's just a lot. And, somebody missed the date. And so they're locked out of the room and they can't get in because they didn't do their, the payment and all. It's just been overwhelming the last week or two. And what I have to do is just stop and not answer any emails between 8:30 and 11. Just focus on my trading, because that's what you guys in the room are there to see. You're there to see me trade. You're there to hear my thoughts. You're probably there to see me blow up when I mess up. That's funny sometimes. But I have to stay focused, and I have to filter out, the noise that's been getting between my ears prior to the open. So you probably, asking, what am I talking about? As humans, naturally we're heavily influenced by our emotions, our instincts, all of these irrational quirks that we have, all kind of input that comes into our lives. We are influenced by it. And, as traders, automatically from the get-go, we are more concerned about avoiding losses than making gains. And that's the thinking. That's the very first thought that we need to fix coming in as traders. It's not about avoiding losses. It's about making gains. If we can't avoid loss, we're gonna have loss, but we have to manage those losses and focus on the gains. And we place more emphasis on new information because we feel that if it's new and it's cutting edge, it means more. And that's oftentimes that's not the case. It's just a lot of garbage, honestly. So, once we get the information that we need and we get the relevant information, we should have a filter to where if it doesn't fit our criteria, if it doesn't aid in what we're doing, it gets thrown away. And that causes us, now this new information and all of this stuff coming in, it's like the new and improved. This is new. Oftentimes it's just repackaged. That was the one thing that frustrated me in the education field, is that every year or every 2 years we'd have some new cutting edge strategy to help us in the classroom, to help us reach our students, to help us instruct. All it was the same stuff repackaged over and over again. That's all it was. And just because it's repackaged and has a different name, these idiots would pay all this money for it, give it to us, and it's the same stuff we've been doing all along. And we just get caught up on the new. And we tend to make snap judgments, and then we rationalize them after we know we made a mistake. And when we should have been thinking through what we're doing. All of this hurts us in trading. There's a guy, a Nobel Prize winner guy. His name is Daniel Kahneman. He says that we're very influenced by completely automatic things that we have no control over, and we don't even know we're doing it. And that's true. But coming into trading, if we do this right, it's going to help us to recognize that. Because I know you've experienced these completely automatic things can actually lead to us making bad trading decisions. So what's the noise that I'm talking about? I'm talking about chat, because you can allow chat to become too noisy. There are traders in the room, they're calling out their trades, they're talking about their trades. But if they're not trading the same style that you trade, if they're not trading the same type stocks, then you don't need to get involved in that. Somebody could be posting incredible gains, but it's in the simulator, which doesn't mean nothing. You could be the best sim trader, but when you go to trade live, you can't make 2 cents. You wouldn't be able to rub 2 nickels together. So that's noise. It's good that they're learning, and it's good that you are, developing your strategy. But once you start trading live and you start small and you start growing and you start building, those thoughts you share are not noise. They're things that people are going to go through, the frustrations, with your platform. Stuff that happens in the simulator doesn't, stuff that happens live doesn't usually happen in the simulator. You're not having to go through the hoops that you normally do. So a lot of stuff in chat could be noise. So you have to qualify that. Twitter. Hell, that's a lot of noise. CNBC. Any news. You can have other traders PMing you in chat saying, hey, take a look at this stock. Hey, take a look at that. Watch this, watch that. And it doesn't have anything to do with what you're doing. You know, it could be other gurus out there that, you know, they may not really know what they're talking about. They're just regurgitating what they hear other people say. You know, it's funny. I listen to other people's videos. You know, if I see somebody coming up and they're putting out videos, I just like to listen and see what's going on. It's funny. I hear a lot of stuff I say regurgitated word for word. I hear a lot of stuff other established professional traders that have been out there that I listen to. I hear some of their stuff regurgitated word for word by other people. And I know they're just repeating it. You know, and all of that becomes noise after a while. So the main thing is we have two goals. You know, when we trade, we've got to make smart risk-reward decisions. We have to make them constantly. We do that by our plan. That's our plan. Our plan should encompass our risk-reward decisions. It has to be following our trade plan, and they need to be consistent. They can't be all over the place. And once we do that, then we just execute it. We execute. And if we focus and execute, we can knock it down. Just like today, we were talking about slowing the charts down. You know, the strategies that I have when the chart gets real noisy. You know, that's why I don't trade a 1 or 2 minute chart, because it's too noisy. It's too jumpy. I like to trade trends, slow moving trends, low stress, and just let the money roll in. You know, I'm not trying to nail and make $5,000 in 30 minutes. You know, I know, because you can make $5,000 in 30 minutes, and then an hour later you could be broke. You could be down $5,000. You know, easy come, easy go. I like slower moving, trend following trades that I can establish solid risk reward and, you know, work it out. And that's what I do. That's what I focus on. So I think I found the source of the problems I've had. I haven't been trading bad. I haven't been red. But my trading has not been clean. And it seems like I've been fighting from behind. And, you know, I don't like doing that. I like to start the day out with a cushion, start it out solid, and then just let the rest of the day come to me. And I've just been doing the opposite of that. All right, so let's take a look at what I traded today. HOG was one of the stocks on our watch. You know, I had 4, but this one was the one that I liked the best because it had a huge gap down, and it had a huge opportunity if we went long, and it had a huge opportunity if we went short. So this thing could have gone either way. Great opportunities both ways. So that's why I chose this stock. And you can see we had the big gap down. And this is a blue blood American company. And, you know, a lot of Americans want to own a piece of this. HOG, CAT, you know, Lowe's. Some of these American down-home companies that Americans just want to have in their portfolio to say they own this. And I think HOG is one of them. And so I always, whenever I get the opportunity, I always look to jump in and trade this. So today, I figured that this thing was going to sell at the open. That was my whole thesis to start with. It was going to reject VWAP here and sell at the open. and I was going to get this quick move down. And I thought we were going to get to 50. So I got short here and ended up covering on this first quick, rundown. I thought we were going to get to 50 in this first 5 minutes, but we didn't. We came back and I ended up stopping out. And then I reset. This is not a typical strategy, but there are stocks that have these tendencies. And, when I know it, I see it, I'm going to call it out, and we're going to look at trading it. The same way with EA today aftermarket. I told you exactly what was going to happen because I've seen it time and time and time again. As soon as they announce earnings, this thing is going to sell off for about $5 or $6 real quick. It's enough time for you to get in, nail $5 or $6, and then get long and take it the rest of the way. Did exactly what it, and it just comes from seeing these things happen time and time and time again. It's just screen time. There's no substitute for screen time. And so that's why I took this trade. So we started out, with a nice little piece here. And so I waited, 5-minute opening range low. I could have gotten in here when we ran up. We opened here on the 20 and started selling off. I could have, but I didn't want to risk it. To me, it was a risk because we had to sell back through the 9, the VWAP, and I didn't use, this is the true 5-minute opening range low. I used the body because this is a huge wick, and whenever you get a wick twice the length of the body, to me, I just ignore it. So I went with the body here, got in just up under that 5-minute opening range low, and then this thing did just what the stocks have been doing to me for the last couple of weeks, which is why I've been starting out the morning in the hole. It sets up, turns around, runs all the way back up, stops me out, and then I have to get back in and try to make up for what I lost. And then, I manage it good the rest of the day, and it works out. So today, I was like, well, as soon as this thing fails, I'm going to take it off. I'll take the couple dollar hit, and then I'll get back in on the rejection. So my goal was to get out of here real quick on this, and then get in when it rejected up here. Well, this thing took off, and I couldn't get out when I wanted to. So instead of panicking and taking off and being down another $300 or $400 to open the morning, I looked at this and I waited. I was like, look, I've seen enough of these to have an informed decision, to know that if we lose this 20, it's dead. I'll just have to eat it and, go ahead and try to grind back again. But more than likely, this is going to sell off. 50 is what I've been calling out all day. From this morning, I think 50 is going to be where the institutional buyers come in and buy this up off the bottom. I thought 50 would be it. So when we came back, I figured this risk would far outweigh the reward me getting down here. So I held on, and it wasn't much. It was just this 5-minute candle. Just one 5-minute candle that seemed like an eternity, but it was only one 5-minute candle. We turned around, and this thing immediately sold back off. And as it did, I took profit where I needed to, waited for the next move down, took profit here when we hit that level. Then we turned around and I went ahead and stopped out when we were recovering. I looked at the 2-minute chart and it was turning, so I got out, waited for the next short. Now here is where my patience was really tested. I got in here, and this thing went all the way back up. And I said, I'm not going to stop out, but I'm not going to add either. And once this put in a lower low here, I knew I had it. I knew that I had this stock, and that all of this crap the institutional players were pulling was done. I got it. You know, this is my trade now. And that's just how I felt. You know, I don't know why I don't have, I had to redo the chart. I had a trend line from here through here that ran all the way down. And I said, if this thing ever pushed this trend line, the trend is dead, the trade is dead for me. I'm just going to take my profit and go. So this was really the only stressful time that I had on this trade, was through these 15 minutes here. And as soon as we got this big candle to come back, I was like, I got you now. And we never really showed much strength after that. You know, and so I took my cover here. But as we recovered, I had to take it off because I got frustrated here thinking that these idiots are buying it up here when they should be buying it down here at 50. But took it off here, got back in, got the first move down, and then got 50 on my second cover, and this is exactly where it bounced because we ran all the way back up and through VWAP eventually. So, you know, this was a case where my overall thesis was right. You know, everything about the chart, what I learned about the earnings, everything that I came up with this morning was right. All I had to do today was trust the trend. And that's what I do. That's what got me to where I am. It's simple. There's, you know, I don't have to calculate this, calculate that. Just draw a simple trend line. If it follows the trend, if this thing is still trending, you stay in the trade and you keep taking profit. And that's what I did. Only 768 today, but I traded one stock. I focused. I was locked in. I didn't look at anything else. There was nothing else running. Yeah, I kind of should have jumped in EA, but you know, I got back a little bit too late from picking my son up, and I wasn't settled, so I wasn't going to take that risk. But had I done that, this would have been another $3,000-$4,000 day. You know, real easy, because EA worked worked out just according to plan. But I don't focus on woulda, coulda, shouldas. You know, today is done. Won't be trading tomorrow, but you know, I'll be looking forward to Thursday. I'll be out of town tomorrow, but the room will be up. I'll have my scans running. I will be on mobile, you know, computer, because again, I love my Wi-Fi hotspot in my car. I don't know how I ever did without that thing, without having Wi-Fi in my car, because I hook my computer up to it, or my tablet, Windows-based tablet, and it's awesome. So I'll be checking in, you know, on mobile, not while I'm driving on the highway though. You know, I will pull over, or whenever I have to stop, I'll holler at you guys. But you know, other than that, I won't be taking any trades tomorrow. So this may be a slow week. You know, don't know. We'll see. Thursday and Friday may be good. You never know. Maybe a solid day Thursday and Friday. but I won't force it. To make sure that I don't. So you guys have a great night, a great evening, and I will see you guys on Thursday.